What's going on? So today I'm going to explain to you the biggest waste of time when dealing with women, okay? And if I seem a little jittery, I took a scoop of pre-workout and I got pre-workout just rushing through my veins. But I had to get this off my chest, okay? Cuz I was sitting here, right? I woke up this morning, of course, and I was looking through my notes for something and I stumbled upon this recording. This, you know how iPhone recently added the phone call recording feature, right? And I had recorded a call with this young lady, okay? And no, not on some creepy shit. Like, it was like, hey, listen, you want me to record you so you can hear yourself later on, right? It was one of those situations. And so I came to the realization of something. As men, we always get into logical mode, right? We always get into that logical explanation mode. Like, no, here is why. This and this and this and this, right? Because we're so used to being logical, right? But when you're dealing with a creature, when you're dealing with a being from women are fucking, these emotional beings. And when you're dealing with a woman, explaining shit to them logically is going to get you nowhere. Okay? You ever sat there and had a fucking long, conversation back and forth trying to get to the bottom of something and it gets nowhere, right? Your woman is still upset or your woman is still being emotional, whatever the case may be. It's because they are not logical. Just tell them what they want to hear, okay? Because women, they're insecure, right? They're insecure. They're emotional. They have a time of the month where they're not thinking clearly. We're not like men, right? As men, we're pretty steady. We don't have periods. There's some men out there with vaginas who might have periods, right? Because some men out there are pussies. But normally as men, we are logical, okay? So when you sit there with a woman and you try to explain or you try to, not explain, but you try to have her come to her senses logically, it's not going to fucking happen, okay? Your woman is still going to feel upset. She's still going to feel what she feels. Even if you guys end the conversation or whatever the case may be, she's still going to be feeling something if she didn't get something emotional out of it. If she didn't get some sort of emotional validation, right? She wants to feel validated. And now when you think of I'm in business and so experiencing customers and working previous jobs, having my own business, dealing with women. What is the thing that we always hear when you work at a job or any business? It's usually the customer is always right. And now I'm not saying by any means that your woman is always right, but hear me out. Listen to me, right? Why do they say the customer is always right? For example, when you're at a restaurant, right? When you're at a restaurant, they say the customer is always right. Why do they say that? Because typically, when someone is at a restaurant and they have a complaint, right? They're usually upset. They're usually emotional. It's usually not something logical. It's usually, the service, the server took too long because of this and this and this and this. They're not thinking logically about all the things that the server was doing behind the scenes. They weren't thinking that the server has 5 other people to tend to and this and that, right? He has other duties. They're just thinking emotionally. They're not usually a logical mind is not going to get upset. Usually a logical mind is going to be a deductive thinker, meaning like when I go to a restaurant, I'm not going to get upset because if they take a little too long, I understand. Okay, maybe they're busy, right? Now, if they take extremely long, then that is something to deductively think about and be like, okay, this person is taking way too long, right? But usually minor shit is not going to piss you off if you're thinking logically. But women get pissed off or women get upset over the most minor shit. Have you ever noticed that? Have you ever noticed that women bicker and women, complain about the smallest shit? You'll be having a peaceful day. And that's why there's that meme that says, like, they have the woman and she's like, oh, I'm not going to hit him up today. And he's going to see that I'm mad. And then the man's just like, what a peaceful day, right? Because typically women are going to complain about the smallest shit. For example, you pick up the phone and your tone of voice is monotone. And your woman's going to be like, oh, I feel like I feel like you don't love me. I feel like, you're rude. I feel like this. She feels, right? She's telling you how she feels. And you as a man, you want to explain to her. No, listen. The reason why I picked up is because of this and this and this and this and this and this, right? You're telling her, no, I'm not monotone. I'm simply just busy. I'm simply just like, right? Women can be annoying as fuck sometimes. Like most guys who don't get no women, who don't get no ass, they think of these women just because they're beautiful as like the most great creatures in the world. Oh my goodness, a woman. Yeah, they're beautiful and all. I'm not taking that away from them unless you're fucking with dingbats. But they're beautiful and it's fun to, get it in with them. But if you're dealing with them for a while, you're going to understand that these women are annoying sometimes, right? You'll be busy. You'll be doing what you're doing. And women are just annoying because they have emotional needs that need to be tended to. And if you don't understand this, then your woman will not be satisfied, okay? So telling a woman logically, trying to explain something to her to get her to come to her senses logically, it's like adding gasoline to a fire. The same way that if in a restaurant, someone complains and says, oh, this and this and this and that, and you tell them that they're wrong and you explain to them why, that's usually not going to solve the problem, right? That's why in sales, the very first rule is agree with the customer, right? And in a restaurant or a business, they usually say the customer is always right? Because you want to extinguish this fire. And so if you're having a situation where your woman is coming to you and she's being emotional, right? And I get it. They're emotional all the time. And sometimes it can get fucking annoying. But the fastest way to end that emotional response that she's having is to just tell her what she wants to hear, right? She calls you, and like I said, it's not about thinking women are always right. Your woman is always right. Happy wife, happy life. No, what the fuck? Women are not always right. Sometimes she has to be put in her place. Sometimes she has to be told that she's wrong, and you have to let her know, right? But a lot of the times, it's better to just tell her what she wants to hear. Oh, I feel like the way that you pick up the phone, you don't sound like you care. I feel like, I'm a burden. And you're thinking like, no, it's not even that. It's this and that. No, just tell her what she wants to hear. So she feels emotionally validated. And in that moment, that whole scenario that could take forever to explain logically will usually be done like this, right? And if you want to explain something logically, you have to hit her emotions first. So meaning, you talk to her, right? And she's like telling you something emotionally that she feels. You tell her what she wants to hear. No, this is what they want, okay? No, of course not. You're never a burden to me. You're never a burden to me, baby girl. You're always, I love when you call me. I love it when you call me. I'm just busy, I'm just doing what I'm doing, I'm not feeling like you're a burden to me in any way. Like, right? You have to just tell her what she wants to hear in that moment. And that will usually solve the problem. Okay? Now, if a woman disrespects you, if a woman is acting out of place, that's when you have to let her know, right? And you have to be firm on your boundaries. You have to be firm because otherwise, if you're this happy wife, happy life type of guy, then women are going to walk all over you and you're not going to wear the pants in the relationship. But just tell them what they want to hear. Just tell them what they want to hear. I'm telling you, that shit will put out the fire. Okay? Because as men, usually, if we have a problem, we talk about it logically. Hey, man, so why did you do this? Oh, this and this and this. And men will usually understand. But you're not dealing with men here. Unless you are, then probably on some Diddy shit. But, yeah. The fastest way to end a woman being emotional is to feed into that emotion, right? Feed into that emotion and make her feel something, right? Because logic will not make her feel anything. Logic will only make her feel even more infuriated or even more, upset because she feels like you're telling her that she's wrong. She feels like her feelings aren't validated. She feels like you're trying to tell her, I'm right and you're wrong, right? And this is the same thing in business. If someone is complaining and you tell them that they're wrong, that's not what they want to hear. They want to hear, okay, I understand. Well, here's the solution, right? So if you want to inject logic into it, do it after you tell her what she wants to hear. And this is not on no simp shit like you're over here. Yes, queen. Yes, my love. Yes, of course. You're always right. No, it's just about if your woman is complaining about something and you don't want to sit there and go through this whole fucking, because it's fucking annoying. It's annoying when you have to sit there and try to logically explain something to a woman and it feels like you get nowhere, right? It feels like there is no progress. It's because you're trying to explain it to her logically. So next time your woman comes to you and she's feeling upset, she's feeling emotional like they always do 1,576,000 million times out of the day, right? Just tell her what she wants to hear. Tell her what she wants to hear. You got to get in her ear and you got to feed into that fantasy, right? That fantasy. She doesn't want reality. She wants that fantasy to be taken care of, okay? All right, guys, that's the video for today. I just felt like I had to get that off my chest and help you guys out because I'm sure there's a lot of you out there who are fucking wasting your time trying to explain some shit to a woman who's telling you shit like, oh, I feel like this. Like, in reality, yes, you're annoying, yes. Sometimes you are a burden, right? But you can't tell her that, okay? Because otherwise, she's going to be upset. She's going to be emotional, right? Because even if she is, that doesn't mean that you hate her. That doesn't mean, it just means as men, usually we're busy. We're doing shit, right? And your woman always wants attention. Your woman always wants to come to you with her concerns. And that's a good thing, right? Because if you're in a relationship and your woman's not coming to you with her emotional needs, then someone else is in her ear. Someone else is having those conversations with her. So if a woman comes to you and she's willing to open up to you about her emotional problems and how she feels, that's a good thing because she's coming to you. The only way that it would be a bad thing is if you're not getting no ass. If you're not getting your dick sucked, then at that point, you're just a friend and you're just dealing with all of her emotional problems when in reality, you're not getting anything out of this exchange. You're giving her all your attention. You're sitting here, you're listening to her problems and you're being treated like a bitch because you're not getting anything out of it. I'm talking about the guys who are actually fucking these women, right? If you're fucking a woman and she comes to you with her emotional problems, that's a good thing. Sometimes you just got to sit there and you just got to tune that shit out, right? Like, she'll be talking, you'll be like, You're like, holy shit. Like, I get it, bro. I understand what you're feeling. I understand what you're feeling, bro. It's annoying. But just tell her what she wants to hear, okay? Peace.